Every time they take a second from us, we'll take a minute to protest. We have to know that there's games that are being played. People play games. It's the same game all over again. They want to inconvenience you as much as possible. They want to inconvenience you because they know you'll go away. They've seen the statistics. They've seen the polls. You know, all this information they're collecting through your cell phone, through all this digital data, they call metadata, goes into the algorithms, try to conform human behavior. All this information is being stored and it's being sorted. And there's reasoning that's coming out from it. And they're reasoning to say that they have more control over everyone's lives through this digital communication. They're taking all this information and then they determine who you are. They sit up on high and they point down and they point their fingers at you. But remember, this digital communication allows the same people to control the system. These are the old money families. They control from the top down. They control from the top down and they hire these hirelings, these goons, to do all the dirty work. We're the supervisors. You know, remember the plantation, the supervisor used to be the most violent one. The slave master was the nicest guy in the plantation. Yeah, everybody liked the slave master when he came around. But they couldn't stand the supervisor because he was the one that was beating the slaves. He was the one that was beating the slaves. So what they've done is devised this system of education to keep people illiterate on the bottom. So they have that constant pool of undereducated people. They're willing to take orders because they can't think for themselves. Now, Martin Luther King taught us that it was man's greatest pain to think for himself. Can we stop and think for ourselves for a minute? That's called integrity. That's called integrity. But it seems that all these people are in these careers, and they want to take orders all the time. Yeah, so we've gone from a lifestyle where, you know, if we just work really hard and bring our children up right, yeah, save a little bit of money, then we'll have a good life for everybody. But no, that didn't happen, did it? It didn't happen because of the international law. The law that this system adheres to. And the system, the boss is allowed the capital to control. If you don't have capital, you don't have control. Those with the capital have the control. And so all these ruling rulers have been bought out. They've sold their souls. And now they do not know what they do, although they do. And yet they're not willing to lose because they've acquired so much. This primitive accumulation. It was acquired at the expense, the blood, and the sacrifice of the innocent one. The innocent one is slaved. He was brought here to slave so the system could be built up. And now the system is built up and the slave doesn't have any say. Well, wait a minute. The slave bled. He suffered. His mother was raped. His family was taken from him. And yet he doesn't have any say? How come? How come? That seems like a corrupt system. Something isn't working. So we can nullify the law and get rid of these laws that are being abused. We can nullify them all at once. If we had some people with integrity, be willing to stand up, think for themselves. We have to think strategically. We have to think long term. We have to think about how our actions today will affect our future. Yeah. And we can keep talking and talking and talking, but we sound like housewives. And I don't want to I'm not here to get sexist or anything like that, but I mean, that's what housewives do. That's why they're at home. You know, they got time to talk, you know, which is great, you know, but we got to be men. The men of this country need to realize that we really screwed up. We really screwed up when we let this all go. When we let the oppressor continue to oppress. Now, look at us, busybodies. We just drive around. We don't have time to do anything. We're always trying to make another dollar. We got to make another dollar to survive. We got to make another dollar so we can go here or go there. And before we know it, how much time do we have left? How much time will we have left? Yes. And we threw it all away for what? For what purpose? For fun? Because we wanted to have fun? Is that what it's all about, is having fun? Well, why don't we have a fun island somewhere? And we can send all the people that just want to have fun in their life over to a fun island and they can have fun together. You know, because I want to get something done. You know, Marcus Garvey said, we also want to experiment in government. Well, I want to experiment in government because this government is corrupt.